The biting wind whipped Amelia's hair across her face as she hurried down the deserted waterfront. The sky was a bruised purple, the clouds heavy with the promise of rain. She just witnessed a crime, a brutal mugging in the alleyway, and her heart hammered against her ribs. The victim lay crumpled on the ground, unconscious. She hadn't called the police, fear paralyzing her. She knew she should, but the sheer terror of it all left her frozen. Then she saw him. The mugger, eyes like chips of ice, staring directly at her. He knew she'd seen him. A cold dread washed over her. He didn't move, just stood there, a silent predator observing his prey. Amelia's breath hitched in her throat. She had to get away. She started to run, her boots pounding against the pavement. He didn't chase her yet. The streetlights flickered, casting long, distorted shadows that danced around her. She glanced over her shoulder, her heart pounding like a drum. He wasn't there. Yet, had he followed her? Was he still watching? She dashed into a small cafe, its interior warm and inviting in contrast to the chilly night. The aroma of strong coffee and pastries filled the air, a welcome distraction. But her eyes darted nervously towards the door, scanning for any sign of him. She ordered a coffee, her hands trembling. She needed to think, needed a plan. She couldn't just stay here, he might come looking for her. She slipped out the back exit of the cafe, heading down a narrow alleyway. Her footsteps echoed ominously. She could feel his gaze, though she couldn't see him. The air crackled with tensions. She ducked behind a dumpster, her body shaking. She needed to get to a phone, call the police. But the thought of encountering him again, of him knowing where she was paralyzing. She crept along the alleyway, her senses heightened. She saw him then, a fleeting glimpse of dark clothing near a flickering street lamp. He was waiting patiently, like a spider in its web. She had to be smarter, faster. She doubled back, using the maze of streets to confuse him. Her breath hitched in her chest, each step a silent prayer. Would she escape? She raced through a brightly lit city square, people bustling past, oblivious to the terror that consumed her. She blended in with the crowd, trying to disappear. She could see him at the edge of her vision, weaving through the crowd, always keeping her in sight. He was a master of shadows, a ghost in the urban jungle. This cat-and-mouse game was relentless. She reached a public phone booth, a relic from a bygone era. She fumbled for her coins, her fingers clumsy with fear. She dialed the emergency number, her voice barely a whisper. The operator answered, their calm voice a stark contrast to her panic. She gave the location of the crime scene, her voice trembling with fear. The dispatcher promised police would arrive immediately. She hung up the phone, the line humming in her ears. She looked around desperately. He was still there, lurking at the edge of the crowd. Her heart sank. He was not going to let her go that easily. She had to act fast. She ran, not knowing where to go. She darted down a narrow side street, pushing through a crowd of people heading to a nearby pub. The sounds of laughter and music were jarring in their sudden contrast to the silence of the previous moments. She ran until she reached the entrance of a large building, hoping to lose him. The building was a museum, closed for the night. She slipped inside, her footsteps echoing in the empty halls. The grand artwork and artifacts were a surreal backdrop to her desperate escape. She found a security guard, explaining her situation in a breathless rush. The guard, calm and professional, contacted the police. Finally safe. Sirens wailed in the distance, their sounds a symphony of relief. The police arrived, their blue lights flashing, their faces grim as they listened to her account. The game of cat and mouse was over, but the scars would likely linger. The city, once a comforting place, would forever hold a new, sinister layer. A shadow loomed, a reminder that even the most ordinary walk could turn into a terrifying escape. A haunting reminder of the silent witness and the predator who had watched her every move. The experience forever changed her. She will never forget the silent witness she had been, or the night the city turned hostile. The ordeal left its mark, a persistent reminder of the vulnerability of life. The city lights, once beautiful, now reflected a deep apprehension, a fear of the unseen eyes that could lurk in the shadows. She was alive, but she was changed. The night had brought her face to face with true evil, forcing her into a desperate race against time and a determined adversary. The city held secrets now, and she knew her own life would never truly be the same again.